Hare Krishna. Welcome to the Bhagavad Gita class. Tonight we will do chapter 7, verse 25. Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Jaya Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivaradhari Jaya Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivaradhari Yashodanandana Braja Jana Ranjana Yashodanandana Braja Jana Ranjana Jamuna Tira Banachari Jamuna Tira Banachari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Jaya Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivaradhari Jaya Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivaradhari Yashodanandana Braja Jana Ranjana Yashodanandana Braja Jana Ranjana Jamuna Tira Banachari Jamuna Tira Banachari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Jayam Vishnupada Paramahansa Paribrajakachaja Stotara Sata Shri Srimad A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai Ananta Koti Vaishnava Vrinda Ki Jai Namacharya Srila Haridas Thakur Ki Jai Premsika Ho Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Sri Advaita Gadadhar Sri Vasari Gaura Bhaktivinoda Ki Jai Sri Sri Radha Krishna Gopa Gopinath Shamakunda Radha Kunda Giri Govardhan Ki Jai Vrindavan Mathura Dham Ki Jai Navadip Mayapur Dham Ki Jai Jamuna Mai Ki Jai Ganga Mai Ki Jai Bhakti Devi Ki Jai Tulsi Devi Ki Jai Samaveta Bhakta Vrinda Ki Jai All glories to the assembled devotees. All glories to the assembled devotees. All glories to Sri Sri Guru and Gauranga. Bhagavad Gita, chapter 7, verse 25. Nam prakasha sarvasya yogamaya samavrita mudoyam na bijanati lokomama jamavyayam. Naham prakasha sarvasya yogamaya samavrita mudoyam na bijanati lokamama jamashvayam. Naham prakasha sarvasya yogamaya samavrita Mudoyam na bijanati lokomam jamavyayam. Naham prakasha sarvasya yogamaya samavrita Mudoyam na bijanati lokomam jamavyayam. Na no aham I prakasha manifest sarvasya to everyone Yogamaya internal potency. Samavritaha, covered. Mudaha, foolish. I am this. Na, not. Abhijanati, can understand. Lokaha, such less intelligent persons. Mam, me, ajam, unborn. Avyayam, inexhaustible. Translation and purport by Srila Prabhupada. I am never manifest to the foolish and unintelligent. For them I am covered by my eternal creative potency, Yogamaya. And so the deluded world knows me not, who am unborn and infallible. Purport. It may be argued that since Krishna was present on this earth and was visible to everyone, then why isn't he manifested to everyone now? But actually, he was not manifested to everyone. When Krishna was present, there were only a few people who could understand him as the Supreme Personality of Godhead. In the assembly of the Kurus, when Shishupala spoke against Krishna being elected president of the assembly, Bhishma supported him and proclaimed him to be the Supreme Lord. Similarly, the Pandavas and few others knew that he was the Supreme, but not everyone. He was not revealed to the non-devotees and to the common man. Therefore, in the Gita, Krishna says, but for his pure devotees, all men consider him to be like themselves. He was manifested only to his devotees as a reservoir of all pleasure. But to others, to unintelligent non-devotees, he was covered by his internal potency. In the praise of Queen Kunti in the Srimad Bhagavatam 1.8.18, it is said that the Lord is covered by the curtain of Yogamaya, and thus ordinary people cannot understand him. Kunti prays, O my Lord, you are the maintainer of the entire universe, and devotional service to you is the highest religious principle. Therefore, I pray that you will also maintain me. Your transcendental form is covered by Yogamaya. The Brahma Jyoti is the covering of the internal potency. May you kindly remove this glowing effulgence that impedes my seeing you, your Satchit Ananda Vigraha, your eternal form of bliss and knowledge. This Yogamaya curtain is also mentioned in the 15th chapter of the Gita. The Supreme Personality of Godhead in this transcendental form of bliss and knowledge is covered by the eternal potency of Brahma Jyoti, and the less intelligent impersonalists cannot see the Supreme on this account. Also in the Srimad Bhagavatam 10.14.7, there is the prayer of Brahma, O Supreme Personality of Godhead, O Super Soul, O Master of all mystery, who can calculate your potency and pastimes in this world? You are always expanding your eternal potency, and therefore no one can understand you. Learned scientists and learned scholars can examine the atomic constitution of the material world or the planets, but still they are unable to calculate your energy and potency, although you are present before them. The Supreme Personality of Godhead, Lord Krishna, is not only unborn, but he is avyaya, inexhaustible. His eternal form of bliss and knowledge and his energies are all inexhaustible. Naham prakasha sarvasya yogamaya samavritaha muduyam nabijanati lokamam ajam avyayam. So in this verse we can understand Krishna is speaking very plainly, very straightforward, very simple Sanskrit. Anyone can understand this. Naham prakasha sarvasya. I am not manifested to everyone. Yoga Maya Samavrita. There is a curtain of yoga. Yoga Maya means that Yoga Maya is Krishna's internal potency. Krishna has many potencies. God has, according to the Vedas, Parasya Shakti Vividaya Shruyate Swabhavaki Jnana Bala Kriyacha. Krishna has knowledge of all subjects. He has knowledge in acting. He has knowledge in strength. And he has knowledge in pastimes. His most important knowledge, his most important energy, which is called Yoga Maya, covers Krishna from the sight of those who are not qualified to see him. Krishna is visible to everyone, but he is only visible through the eyes of love. Krishna becomes manifest to everyone if that person has actual love for Krishna. Krishna doesn't go when he is minimized, or where he is not wanted. For example, I also, and you go to see your friends. You go where you are loved and appreciated and accepted. You don't go where you're minimized or denigrated. So in the same way, we have this tendency to go where we are loved and appreciated, because this tendency is coming from God. God has the same tendency. Don't think that you can make God your order supply. Going to the church or going to the temple and praying to God for material benefits will give you material benefits, undoubtedly, but it will not give you understanding of your eternal relationship with him, because that eternal relationship with God implies that God will exchange with you. Bhakti Yoga means to establish an exchange between you and God. And an exchange means there are two people involved. And indeed, bhakti, the actual meaning of the word bhakti in Sanskrit, bhakti means two. Means that there is the living entity and there is the Supreme Lord. And the exchange between the living entity and the Supreme Lord in affection, appreciation, in giving gifts, accepting gifts, in this exchange is called Bhakti Yoga, or the Yoga of Devotion. And upon this Bhakti Yoga is the relationship between the living entity and Krishna established. So today we are very fortunate. It is a special day. It is the disappearance day of two great personalities, Rupa Goswami and Gauridas Pandit. So when Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu appeared on this planet, one time in a day of Brahma, Lord Krishna appears, and then in the following Kali Yuga, Lord Krishna again appears, but not as Krishna, he appears as Krishna's devotee. So that is Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. And one of Lord Chaitanya's most important followers was Rupa Goswami. In fact, this Rupa Goswami was given charge of all the Vaishnavas on this particular planet. Therefore, we are called Rupa Anuga. Rupa Goswami is famous because he established the mission of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu in this material world. He took the trouble to become renounced, to give up his government service, to give up his wealth, his aristocratic position, and to live like a mendicant underneath a tree in Vrindavan, and wrote many, many beautiful books, many authoritative books explaining our relationship with God. He took charge of the devotee community after Lord Chaitanya left this planet. Lord Chaitanya, Lord Nityananda, Advaita Acharya, Gadadhar Pandit, Sarup Damodar, and Ramananda Rai, they were the main supporters of the devotees while Lord Chaitanya was present. Lord Chaitanya was present on this planet for 48 years. 18 of those last 48 years he spent in Puri, every day going to see Lord Jagannath, associating with devotees, performing Harinam Sankirtan, and all the devotees came from all over India to Jagannath Puri to be with Lord Chaitanya. Just like all the rivers flow to the ocean, so similarly all the devotees, by the internal potency of Krishna, were guided to Jagannath Puri, and they were supported but these personalities like Lord Nityananda and Lord Advaita. After Lord Chaitanya and his associate left, the vision of the material eyes, Rupa Goswami took over as the main leader. Therefore, there is a shloka to glorify him. Sri Chaitanya Mano Abhishtam Shtapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kada Mayam Dadati Swa Padantikam. That Sri Chaitanya Mano means the mentality or the mind or the desire of Sri Chaitanya. The desire of Sri Chaitanya is that everybody should become a pure devotee and give up living separately from God. Sri Chaitanya is the incarnation of the devotional power of Krishna. Is the incarnation of that energy that again connects us with Krishna. So this mentality of Lord Chaitanya, this desire of Lord Chaitanya, was established on this planet by the mercy of Rupa Goswami. So Sri Chaitanya Mano means his mentality. Abhishtam Stapitam means to put down the foundation. Yena Bhutale, within this material world. Before the appearance of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, there was no understanding, or practically no understanding, of the relationship between the living entity and the Supreme Personality of Godhead. It was only there in a few holy places, in Puri, in Vrindavan, in Sri Rangam, in Udupi, places where there was the tradition of Vaishnava Seva, of understanding our relationship with God. But it was only very limited and only to those classes of Brahmanas and devotees. But Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, he wanted to spread this all over this planet. Priti vite ache jagad adar adi adigram sarvatra pachar hoibe mornam. He predicted that in every village and every town on this planet, my name will be chanted. And the main leader of this mission is Rupa Goswami. So Sri Chaitanya Mano Abhishtam, he established the desire of Lord Chaitanya, Bhutale, within this world, Kadamayam, Kada Rupa Kadamayam, Swayam Rupa, the very same Rupa, Kadamayam, when? Kadamayam, to me, Dadati will give Swapadantikam, the lotus feet, shelter of his lotus feet. So today we celebrate Rupa Goswami's disappearance, and also today is the disappearance of a great associate of Lord Chaitanya called Gauridas Pandit. Gauridas Pandit was a contemporary of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu who was born in Bengal, and originally in Brajalila he was a Sudama, cowherd boy. He was one of the 12 cowherd boys who appeared on this planet to help Lord Nityananda propagate the holy name. So today, these two personalities are to be glorified. It is part of our process to glorify our previous acharyas, our previous great personalities. It is one of the limbs of our devotion. Together with chanting and offering prasad and worshiping the deity, we also worship the Guru, and we worship the predecessor Gurus in our Guru Parampara. We understand that this knowledge is coming down by the endeavor and the devotion of great personalities. And we are grateful, and we recognize the input, and we glorify them and we thank them. So in this purport, Prabhupada comments that not everybody knew that Krishna was God when Krishna was present. And in fact, Krishna says so in this verse, Naham Prakasha Sarvasya. I'm not manifested to everyone. There were many, many envious people. And actually, the greatest percentage of living entities in the material world are envious. They are here because they are envious of God. This is the prison house of God's creation. It is called Durga. It is a fortress. And Durga Devi, she is riding on a tiger, and she is having a lance, and she is killing the demon. And the tiger is also biting the demon. So the demoniac personalities who are against the supremacy of God are put into this material world, karagara, this prison house. And within this prison house, they are unable to understand their relationship with God. God is covered, even though when they try to reach God by their own endeavors, they come against this glaring effulgence called the Brahmajyoti. So, by the mercy of the previous acharyas, we can understand that beyond the Brahmajyoti, or beyond the all-pervasiveness of God, there is the personality of God, who is known as Krishna, who has an eternal spiritual body. He has no beginning, and he is the beginning of everything. But to understand that internal sweet relationship with Krishna, we must go beyond this curtain of Maya. So in the first canto, 18th chapter of the Bhagavatam, Kunti Devi, she prays to Krishna. This is at the end of Krishna's activities in Hastinapur, at the end of the great Bharata war, when the Pandavas again regained their kingdom and peace was brought, and then Krishna was on his way back to Dwarka. So Kunti became very distressed in anticipation of separation from Krishna. So she spoke many beautiful verses. Namasye Purusham Adyam Ishwaram Prakrite Param Alakshyam Sarvabhutanam Antar Bahir Avashtitam. The my dear Krishna, you are just like an actor on the stage. I offer my respectful obeisances to you. You are unaffected by the qualities of the material world. You're just like an actor on the stage. You come into this material world, you act your pastimes as a coward boy, you act your pastimes as a prince, as a king in Dwarka and Mathura, but nobody can see who you are. People think you're just a great personality, and in fact, one of the Hindu gods, if you look in the dictionary under the name Krishna, he is described as one of the many Hindu gods, the rural Hindu god. People know him as a coward boy or as a prince or as a powerful personality, but nobody knows who he actually is because he's covered by this Hiranmaya. Therefore, in the Upanishads, there are 108 Upanishads who are the essence of Vedic knowledge, the essence of understanding our spiritual relationship. Out of these 108 Upanishads, 11 are very, very important. And the first one is called the Isha Upanishad. In the Isha Upanishad, after it is explained our relationship with God and his position, the devotee prays, Hiranmayena patrena satyasya pihitam mukam tattva pushana pavrinu satya dharmaya drishtate. That, my dear Lord, Hiranmayena patrena, you're covered by the patra, by the curtain of Hiranmaya, of this effulgence. It's just like when you look at the sun. If you look at the sun, you see a blazing effulgence you cannot see. In matter of fact, you cannot even look for very long or your eyes will become disturbed. What to speak of the sun? Krishna has millions of suns emanating from his body at all times. He is the origin of the sun and the moon. And just like the sun, he is covered by this Hiranmayena patrena. Satyasya pihitam mukam. Your face of bliss, your face of knowledge, your face of reality is covered by this blazing effulgence. Tatvam pushama pavrinu. Please pull away this curtain, satya dharmaya drishtate, so that your satya dharma, or your devotee who is worshipping you in truth, who is interested in truth, who is not interested in whatever you have to give or whatever you have to offer, who is not interested in exploiting you or using you, who is not coming to you with pride, thinking that he's as good as you. No, Satya, one who is interested in truth, who comes to God and says, my dear Lord, I am here. Please tell me what is the truth of my relationship with you. Please explain the truth of my position in relationship with you, and make so that the obstacle between my position and you, this curtain of illusion, becomes removed. This is the prayer. So, Maya Javanika Achanam. So Jamanika is curtain. Agyana adokshav avyayam. Na lakshashe muda drisha nato natyadaro yata. Those who are muda drisha, those who are foolish, they cannot understand Krishna's position. So when Krishna was present, first of all, he was never defeated by anyone. First of all, he was always God from the moment from before he took birth. In fact, Krishna did not take birth as a normal human being. If you study the Bhagavatam, the chapters on Krishna's birth, Krishna appeared in the heart of his father, Vasudeva. Vasudev's heart was pure, and by his prayer, Krishna appeared in his heart. And from the heart of Vasudeva, he was put into the heart of his mother, Devaki. He was not put there by any material sex. He was put there by the transcendental potency of devotion. And from the heart of Devaki, he appeared in front of his mother and father as the four-handed Vishnu. As a small baby with four hands, with a crown and Kaustuba necklace and beautiful jewels and decorations. Only after being requested by his mother did he change from the four-handed form to a normal baby two-handed form and was taken by his father to Vrindavan. So from even before his birth, Krishna appeared in his transcendental body. So he did not take birth as a normal human being. And even as a child, as a baby, he killed the gigantic demon Putna. Putana was a witch who came to Vrindavan to kill him, and she tried to poison him. Even though Krishna was so small, he was in her arms, and he sucked their breast, which was covered with poison, and along with the poison, he sucked out her life, and the poison did not affect him. So from the moment of his birth, from his very infancy as a child, Krishna was always God. And as he grew up, when necessary, he manifested his full power as God by killing an endless processions of demons. And after killing this endless procession of demons, he went to the source of the demoniac activities, which was his wicked uncle Kamsa in Mathura, and he killed him. Sometimes people don't understand how Krishna left his village of Vrindavan, where he was surrounded by loving devotees on the apex of ecstasy, who had given up everything for him, who knew nothing but Krishna. They didn't even care whether Krishna was God or not. He might be, he might not be. He might be a great demigod. He's so powerful, he kills so many demons, but we love him because he's so sweet and so wonderful and so beautiful. So people sometimes wonder, why did Krishna leave Vrindavan and didn't come back practically for the rest of his life? Once, when I was traveling in India, in South India, I was dressed as a devotee with tilak, and I was chanting my japa, and I was at a railway station waiting for the train. And one young lady, she came up to me, and she said, Swamiji, she said, I want to ask you a question, may I? I said, of course. She said, actually, I'm a Muslim woman, but I like Krishna. Somehow from my friends, I heard so many stories about Krishna, and I'm very attracted to him, but I have a problem with Krishna. And I said, what is that? And she said, because the problem is, why did he leave Radharani? Why he left his lover, his main gopi? And she suffered so much. So people don't understand, unless Krishna blesses them, people don't understand the reason behind his activities. The reason Krishna left Vrindavan was to kill his uncle, Kamsa, who was trying to kill Krishna by sending so many demons. If Krishna had not gone to Kamsa, to Mathura, to kill his uncle would have sent his army to capture Krishna, and he would have devastated Vrindavan. So to protect the inhabitants of Vrindavan, to protect his devotees, Krishna went and took the fight to his uncle, Kamsa. This is one of God's qualities. He always acts to protect and to help his devotees. So Krishna also suffered tremendous pain from leaving Vrindavan. Once he arrived in Mathura, and once he killed his uncle, he had to stay in Mathura to defend Mathura against many attempts by Jarasandha to conquer Mathura. Jarasandha was the father-in-law of Kamsa. Kamsa married his two daughters. So when Kamsa was killed, the two daughters went back to Jarasandha, who was the king of Bihar, and Jarasandha attacked Mathura 18 times with hundreds of thousands, millions of soldiers and chariots and elephants, and Krishna defeated him 17 times. So he was not able to leave Mathura because that was the first defensive arrangement before Vrindavan. So to protect Mathura and to protect Vrindavan, Krishna had to stay there and fight against Jarasandha. Plus, his father Vasudev wanted him to be educated and to take the ceremony as a Kshatriya, to be educated as a Kshatriya, so he was sent to the school of Sandipani Muni where he was trained. After Mathura, when he saw that Jarasandha kept on coming to fight, and also a great demon called Kalayavana also brought his army, and he was also trying to attack Mathura, Krishna moved all his intimate devotees and associates from Mathura, and he built the city of Dwarka within the ocean, within the Indian Ocean. So even sometimes in Dwarka, after Krishna was married to so many queens, there is the story written by Rupa Goswami actually that says that one night Krishna was being embraced by the goddess of fortune, his wife, and he was in a garden, and the breeze of the garden was blowing very nicely, and the sweet perfume of flowers entered his nostrils, and that reminded him of Vrindavan. It reminded him of Radharani, and Krishna fainted. He fell on the ground and fainted. He felt so much separation. So don't think it is so easy to understand Krishna. You require some devotion. And that devotion is given to us by someone who has that devotion. You cannot go directly to Krishna. We have no such power. Of course, one may become blessed by Krishna. That is not impossible. Krishna can do everything. But normally speaking, we go to Krishna through his devotee. And particularly today, we should remember that we go to Krishna through Rupa Goswami, because he's the one who made the path on how to go back to God and how to re-establish our relationship with Krishna. Krishna made it very easy by his many, many books and activities. Therefore, we are called, the followers of Rupa Goswami, the Gaudiya Vaishnavas, we are called Rupa Anugas. And by Rupa Goswami's, Rupa means Rupa Goswami, Anuga means followers. We are the followers of Rupa Goswami, and by his mercy, Pritivite Ache Jagat Nagar Adigram. In every village and town on this planet, there is some understanding of Krishna. There is some devotees of Krishna. There is some association of Krishna. That was not there before the advent of Rupa Goswami. So, let us glorify Rupa Goswami, pray for his blessings so that we may remain steady in devotional service and ultimately don't take another birth in the material world. So, any questions? So we have several listeners here. Mishra Anuja, Krishna Priya, Admavidya Prabhu, Madhu Mangala Dasi, Mandi Pryor, and Filippo Garciano. Obeisances to all of you. Thank you for attending the Gita class. Never forget, here in this purport, Prabhupada also comments on the 15th chapter of the Bhagavad Gita, where Krishna says that there is another abode which is different from this abode in which we live. There is another reality. The other reality is the spiritual world. Udva Mulam Adashakam. It is upside down. Ashwatam Praravyayam. It is unlimited, and this material world is a reflection of that real world. Madhumangala Devidasi has a question. How to give up the tendency of being envious of the Lord Krishna? By following the 4 principles of spiritual life. by offering whatever we eat to Krishna, but not engaging in exploiting others, but not exploiting and but not damaging our own physical body, which is given to us by Krishna. So no meat eating means to be gentle, and it means that you can offer to Krishna only food in a mode of goodness. No gambling, don't take things cheaply. Everything has its price. So to re-establish a relationship with Krishna, there is a path we have to go through. Sometimes it is painful and sometimes it is easy. But we should always know that Krishna is there to protect us. Our relationship with the material world, it is a very dangerous, ferocious place. It is just like a ferocious tiger. And if the tiger catches you in the mouth, you are dead. But the same mouth of the tiger also picks up cubs and moves them from one place to the other. And when the cub of the tiger is within the mouth of his mother, even though the teeth are surrounding him, he feels great pleasure and he feels great protection and safety. So similarly, if we follow the principles and chant the names of Krishna, then we will feel the protection of Krishna. And that way, when we understand how Krishna is helping us, when we get some understanding of Krishna's mood, Mano Abhishtam, his mind, Sri Chaitanya Mano Abhishtam, I was quoting the verse, when we understand the mentality of Krishna, that he is simply acting for our benefit, for our protection, like he protected the inhabitants of Vrindavan, then automatically our envy of Krishna goes away. We are only envious of Krishna when we try to compete with him. So forget the competition. Don't try to compete with Krishna. It's not possible. Very good. Thank you very much. And we will see you next Wednesday, unless there is more questions. No. Jai. All glories to Srila Prabhupada.